Listen to my podcast about sports. Howdy, Ags. Welcome to the tailgate, home of Aggie football. Today's episode brought to you by Matthews Electric. Light up your home, light up your life. A little salty today. My Houston Astros lost, got eliminated from the playoffs, didn't make it to the league championship series for the first time in 8 years. 7 years? 7 straight they did. 8th year didn't make it. I can't tell you how much Ryan Presley and Josh Hader just suck, by the way. Suck. They should just cut them both. 2 closers, you ain't got one. Paying them both like closers. Anyway, let's move on to the Aggies. A little bit better news for the Aggies. 4-1 A&M goes in, beats Arkansas in Jerry World Saturday, 21-17. A lot of good things that I saw from this team on Saturday. It wasn't perfect by any means, but this is a big, big win. I think Arkansas is probably a little underrated by most. I expect them to give teams a hard time all year long with the talent that they have and the scheme that they run. Landon Jackson defensively is an absolute game wrecker. I think Taylor Green and the running back and the receivers that they have, the skill guys are big time playmakers. They're not perfect by any means. Green still has some issues passing the ball, but hey, look, overall, that's a group that is extremely more talented than Arkansas has been used to, and can make plays and big plays. So I think they're going to give some folks fits, maybe even starting this week with Tennessee. Let's talk a little A&M though, and defense today. 3 big plays really. Third play of the game was the biggest one, the 75-yard throw to Tesla. We had a couple of guys that had an opportunity to get Green down on 3rd and 10, 3rd and 11. I thought Howell had a chance at him, and then Stewart got a little too vertical and up the field instead of being able to tighten it up and be able to take that away there. Ultimately created a little bit of crease and there down the middle that allowed him to step up and deliver that ball perfectly over to Tesla. Don't understand why in that situation, 3rd and long, with only rushing 4, why you don't have any over-the-top help for Jaden Hill, who's coming across the formation, following the guy all the way over. Should we have made the play up front? Sure, we should have. But that makes no sense. You got 2 safeties. You're only rushing 42 safeties. You step them up, take away the short passes. No over-the-top help for a guy that is coming through, trying to get through traffic. I mean, just doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't make any sense to me. But let's be clear, this defense was pretty darn good in most cases. We're going to be a little bit critical at times because we expect great things from this defense. We expect great things from this defensive line, and they delivered. You got the fake punt, 25 yards. There's no excuse for that. No excuse for that. That wasn't a fake punt, by the way. They were going to punt it. The punter looks up, and there's not a soul in front of him because all our guys have run off. They're almost at the 50-yard line, and we had no respect for that guy. No respect. Of course, he pulls out the 25-yard run and first down. And you got a big run by Green, about 24 yards. So overall, though, the defense was really good. Was really good. Defensive line dominated in this game. Look, constant pressure. They were able to really contain the running game for a team that is known for the running game with a running quarterback and a running back that has absolutely killed everybody else. I mean, the defensive line was amazing. Scorton, unfreaking stoppable. That dude has been the defensive MVP so far this year. There's no question about it. It's not even close. 4 tackles for loss on Saturday, 2 sacks. I mean, his energy is unbelievable. Several other times where he made the play. I mean, just incredible, incredible. And then on other occasions, the defense has to pay so much attention to him. They allowed Jaden Hill to come off the edge untouched for the strip, right? The strip sack. I mean, unreal Scorton was. And they can move him around. He can play inside. He can play outside. I'm just super impressed with that dude. I would take that dude on my roster any day of the week. NFL guys, they need to know that. They need to know that. And I think he is just absolutely doing a great thing for his stock. But he's also the best player on this Aggie defense, which is a pretty good defense. I think Hal has had a great season so far, and he had another really good game. Really good game. Lots of involved in pressure on several occasions. I mean, just comes in and gets things done. Almost gave him the pick 6. He's a defensive lineman, though. You don't expect him to catch those things. But he's been excellent, disruptive, super, super disruptive in the backfield all the time. And then you add Stewart and Turner to that mix. I think both of those guys had good games on Saturday. I don't think either one of them had their best game on Saturday. But when you've got that sort of level of depth, add in the other guys that come in, Kennedy that gets a ton of reps out there and does some good things inside. You get a guy like Regis and a guy like Hicks that are doing those things. So you're getting a lot of different guys in there. These guys are staying fresh. You're able to rotate, and the top guys, which I just mentioned, are able to really bring it, really, really bring it, and into the fourth quarter. And you want to talk about a game in which that mattered so much on Saturday, when in the fourth quarter, Arkansas was unable to do anything offensively, while the Aggies were able to get on their guys and start to dominate. We'll talk more about that offense. But part of that offense is the fact that they are beaten up on those guys up front. This defensive line is so good, it's so talented, it's so deep that they're fresh at the end of this game. And I think it makes all the difference in the world. I mean, especially in a situation where you're sitting there and 14, they take a 17-14 lead. We can come back down and we score, take a 21-17 lead, and we just, boom, shut them down. That late in the fourth quarter, and they're able to continue to do the things that they've been doing. If you can get a lead for this team, I think this defense is even, it's going to have an opportunity to be even nastier, right? There are some, he'll bring some blitzes and do some things that have gotten there. We've got to do a little bit better job with our angles sometimes. Jones, absolutely misses and lets the guy outside. Several different occasions in which we're allowing some of that pressure to get away, missing some tackles. But overall, the thing is, I'm just super impressed with the disruption and the chaos that this defensive line is causing right now. And a lot of times they're doing it not in all that twisting and turning that Elko likes to do, but they're doing it in their straight pass rush. And I think that has to continue to be a big part of what they're doing, and less, especially on early downs, of all that twisting and turning and different things. I don't think anybody is going to be down on this defensive line. I don't think anybody has anything bad to say about this defensive line. They've been exceptional. They're going to have to be again this week. We'll talk more about Missouri as we go. But they are the rock of this team, not of this defense, of this team. That is the like thing that stands up. That's the group right there. That's them. They need to continue to be that. For the Aggies to continue to have the success that we want them to have, they can have to continue to be that and continue to improve. They have to continue to bring pressure. Shamar Turner has to continue to do some damage on the interior. He's been great against the run. I thought he was a little. I didn't think he had as much impact in the passing game this past week. I didn't think he did as much penetrating, and maybe they were, and they did do some things a little bit different. Ask him to do some schematic differences, right? He was getting double teamed a lot, um, which allowed the other guys on the outside to really open up. Scorton, Howe, Stewart, but that guy has to continue to bring it. I can't be more impressed by what I've seen by this defensive line, and I expect them to continue. I expect them to continue. Now, let's talk about the secondary for a second because I thought look, 26 is our best cover guy. There's no question. Lee has been exceptional all year long. I thought he's played the best all year long. Every game he's been our best guy. He allows you to do some different things on the other side. And I think that that's something that we need to take into account now is understanding that maybe he can be man to man and go press and do his thing. And then maybe we can give some help over on the other side with some of the other guys. Jaden Hill, had a nice play at times with, especially when he was blitzing and different things. He's still not our best. We do lose a lot from losing Chappelle because he's not the best cover guy, Jaden Hill. That touchdown sure wasn't all his fault because hell, he was asked to cover for so long, right? Because we didn't get there. We missed on that pressure. But there was other times, right, where he's not always great in the coverage area. Sometimes he's a little behind different things, but he did some really nice things pressuring. He did some nice things in some run defense at times. So he's doing a good job. He's just it's hard to ask that guy to be you're a big time cover guy in that situation. You have to give him help. Obviously, he was the backup for a reason. I thought 10 played his best game probably as an Aggie. I thought 10 played his best game as an Aggie. I thought he's really started to figure out a couple of things defensively in the run game. He's getting a little bit more physical. He needs another year because he needs another offseason. He needs to bulk up just a little bit, right? But the guy really is starting to get better. I think that's helped us. 14, Thomas, everybody knows how much I love him. I thought he probably had maybe one of his worst games this year. There was the missed tackle. He was a little deep on that coverage, and then comes up, doesn't really break down very well, gets left in the dust. But overall, that dude also came back the very next play and made the play on the quarterback, right? So you get some ups and downs from both of those guys as young cornerbacks, physically gifted guys, but young guys, and they still make some mistakes. I like that group though overall. I like that group. I think adding BJ Mays in there, you start seeing him getting some more reps. I like that. He's done pretty well and needs to continue to get those reps. And then you've got a pretty good rotation at safety with 25 Brooks and Ratcliffe and number one, obviously Anderson. And those guys with a nice little rotation. You add Jones to that mix, number 9. So you get a good group there, and you're able to keep them fresh in the back end, and that's huge. That's huge because we talked about the depth up front. Those guys are chasing folks around all day. Well, those guys in the backfield, they're running with receivers all day. Let's we can use that depth. We can use that depth and ask some of those other guys to get in there and take some reps. I thought they had a decent game in the backfield. I thought the DBs played all right. I still have a problem with this defense schematically because the backside of the backfield are open all day, every day. They still were. Um, they if you get a guy coming across the formation into the flats, he's open all day. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, Sark will eat you up with all that. Sark's gonna eat you up with all that. You got a long ways till then, and you better watch out for it this week with Missouri, and we'll talk about that. But those are things that have to get better, right? Because right now they know exactly who to attack. They know exactly who to attack and how to attack that defense in that sense. Um, and I'm gonna tell you who they've been attacking a lot of times is number 21. You know, obviously we love that kid, right? 21 coming into this year, we have praised him about his leadership, the fact that he's the guy that's calling all the plays defensively, the guy that's leading that team, getting people into the right position. 21's not been good this year. 21's not been good this year. He's been bad. He's been bad. I know sacrilege. I know people are probably sitting out there and they're saying, Alejo, what the heck are you talking about? Go back and watch the game. Go back and watch the game and see how often that dude is behind the play. Behind the play. He's been slow to react and he's not fast enough to recover. Honestly, the other linebackers have been better than he is. Scooby, the Shield, Sanford. None of those guys have his leadership qualities, maybe. But play on the field right now, he's been the worst performer in that second level. Hands down. Hands down. There are times when he should be the overlap player when that defensive end is back inside. He's got to be the overlap player on the outside. Doesn't get there. Doesn't get there and gets blocked. There's times when he's got to be the cover guy on that back, slow to get outside and to get to the back, and then obviously not fast enough to catch up. There's a lot to be said for leadership and all that stuff, but right now he is hurting us on the field, and you either got to figure out schematically how to prevent him from having to be that guy covering those guys on the outside or trying to chase those guys down, or you got to get him off the field. And Torian York has got to realize that his speed and his athleticism is a limitation. So that means he's got to be mentally locked in and he's got to be, absolutely quick to react. He's got to diagnose the play basically before it's run. And he definitely can't be standing in cement. Can't. He needs to improve. He needs to improve, or they need to start covering up for some of his weaknesses. Period. And that's having said everything I'd already said. This defense has been phenomenal. Defense has been phenomenal. And it's because of the defensive line. I expect that to continue. They dominated on Saturday. Dominated. Kept you in the game. About the offense. Start offensive line. Look, I think this offensive line has played very, very well. They've played really, really well. They continue to grow. I think they're continuing to get better. They've got a lot of things that they're improving on, some of the double teams and different things. They're not perfect by any means. Basanta's sometimes a little too aggressive. Sometimes he get lost at times if he's not engaged, right? If he doesn't know, if he's not on the guy, he's got the guy. He gets lost at times, creates issues. I think Coley didn't have a great game on Saturday. He kind of buries his head into a block sometimes, misses things going by him. Doesn't really keep the head on the swivel kind of situation. Overall, really good, though. Both of those guys, overall, really good. The offensive line, Zune, I think the tackles have played excellent. I think the tackles have played excellent. You know, Reed Adams has had some in and out, and he's had some issues too as well. But, for the most part, add Dewberry to the mix, who continues to get reps and has to get better. He's got to get more reps, I think, because the more reps he gets, the better he looks. The better he looks. That offensive line as a whole has been really, really good. They haven't been perfect, but they've been really, really good, allowing this offense to do the things that they have done. To do the things that they have done. In pass protection, they've been really, really good. I'm gonna tell you, you have to have Daniels in there on pass protection downs. Love Moss, that dude. We're talking about him here in a second, but Daniels is by far the best pass protection back here on this team, and he is 4 times better than Moss. All right. Get Daniels in there on those passing downs. He's going to help you keep your quarterback upright. That dude has been excellent, excellent in pass pro. So let's turn to Moss. You've heard me say it before, right? Like, hey, this guy needs more, is a physical beast. Physical beast. Power, he's got speed, the dude can, cut, all those things. Right? I always talk about his vision being his biggest weakness. The more reps he gets, the better he gets as far as that vision is concerned. On Saturday, you saw him start to see things better. Every game he improves in that area. You got to continue to feed him the ball because he gets better through reps. Better through reps. And as the game goes along, his physicality absolutely wears down a defense. That is huge. Moss has been excellent. Excellent all year long. I expect him to have a huge rest of the year. And if it weren't for the guy that I'm going to talk about here in a minute, he'd probably be my MVP. The dude, I mean, that run where, like he's carrying the dude and just, whoa, and 20 some odd yards, man, just absolute. And then face mask to add to it, right? Because he doesn't go down. He doesn't go down. It is impressive. It is impressive. And if he's got to change his shoes, man. Do what you got to do. Really, really impressed with Moss and how he's progressed this year. Really taking a bigger role, really taking on the role of a lead back. I said it before the season. I thought he was going to be our lead back, whether Owens was available or not. Do we lose something losing Owens? Of course we do. The guy's an athlete. The guy's, a big time playmaker threat. But Moss is going to be the workhorse anyway. And he's proven it now. He's showing it. He's showing it at this moment in time. And he's going to continue to do that. He's going to continue to do that. His physicality will wear people out. Let's take a quick second here because I want to talk the wide receivers, right? Look, Noah Thomas, best game of the year. Could have been even bigger statistically. And we'll talk some about that. I thought, they did a good job of recognizing when he was one-on-one. And they did a good job of pushing him down the field on some of those things, including the 58-yard touchdown where he ran an excellent route and the ball was perfectly on time and he was able to turn it and go. And so, that dude, and I think that's the thing, right? For him, that's where he's got to be. He's got to excel. He's got to excel by opening the field up for this offense. He's got to get the ball, get his routes down the field, get himself some space to really run. That's where he's going to be, I think the playmaker on this team. I thought Allen only one catch. I'm very impressed with him, though. Cyrus Allen comes in, just does a great job in the blocking game, in the run game, and does all those things. The effort game for Cyrus Allen, I'm very impressed with. Um, and you look at Jabri Barber, I mean, who's come in and right off the bat made a difference. Second leading receiver on this team right now. This past week, the guy really does some excellent things out there. He can create some separation underneath. He's not that big, right? But he's sudden. He's very sudden. And so for him, they got to continue to do some things with him to try to get him open and get him the ball, get the ball in his hands, with space to make plays. I'm super excited to see how that continues to happen. A little bit of Moose out there, not a lot. He did get some reps and got a catch out there. I love Moose. The dude's got to get out there and produce. He's got to do it every day of the week. We'll continue to see how that develops. Let's get back to Marcel. I keep hearing this whole ordeal about, hey, he kind of struggled this game. He had a bad game or whatever. Listen, let me tell everybody right now, you here with me? Marcel Reed had a great game. Another great game. Explosive plays, explosive runs, the touchdown run, big time, but also the use of his legs to create opportunities. Let me run down this. And if you don't believe that Marcel Reed was good, yeah, he had all those incompletions there in the middle. His completion percentage didn't look great, whatever. If you don't believe that he was good, you don't know football. Go back and watch the freaking football game. Go back and watch his every freaking play. Look, the biggest issue I've had with Marcel Reed is he can't figure out when to pull the ball on a zone read. And I'm not even sure they're letting him read it. I'm pretty sure that they're probably telling him to hand it off and calling the keeps. If not, they should practice that alone all week this week. Because the biggest the mistakes that he makes are whether to pull or keep. And every once in a while, he should pull that sucker and get out on the edge, and he would have days to run. Now, maybe they're afraid. They don't want to get him hurt. So they're telling him, just give it. Understood. But then you better start blocking the ends because those guys are crashing. They're not respecting it. The one time that he pulls, they got two on the outside. Well, he can't pull to two on the outside. And if they're folding that linebacker over the top, then you have to be able to get a lineman out there on him so that you can come back under it. Period. So that to me has been my biggest criticism of Marcel Reed. Look, the 58-yard throw to Thomas, right? Start with that. Yeah, no, I know it wasn't a 58-yard throw. But go watch that play. Great job by Thomas, yes. Route was excellent. Route was good. But here's the other thing. He absolutely delivered it on time. As he's breaking, he's delivering the football. That creates the space, allows Thomas to go make a play. Right on time. Not only that, but he knew and identified early on one-on-one coverage. Where's he going to go? One-on-one coverage. Great situation. Everybody talks about some of his misses. There's a third down play where he throws it over the middle to 84 coming across. Either 84 got hit on his way across or he stumbled and it was falling. But that throw would have been on the money. Oh, bad pass. No, it wasn't. Wide receiver almost falls down. I think the defense interfered, to be honest with you. There's a pass to number 3. There's the one over the top that's a play action. That's a pass interference, clear as day. They don't call. Pass interference, clear as day over the top. Oh, he overthrew him. Well, if you don't hit the freaking receiver, he's going to have a chance to catch that. No call. Number three coming across. Number three coming across the middle. Guys holding him, literally holding him. Ball's on the money. There's the one down the sideline to number three also. He gets pressure in his face. He's got to let it go before he wants to. Lets it go and over the top. Should he have shorted it? Yeah, he probably should have shorted it, give number three a chance to go up hot, but overthrows him. All right. Pressure in his face. Pressure in his face. The offensive lineman absolutely missed his block. There's a 3rd and 14 to Barber. Throws it right over the middle. Barber, no separation. No separation. But he throws it low and away to avoid any kind of turnover. Low and away. Maybe a little too low. But the fact is that any type of separation, he could step in, he can go in there and deliver that ball better. No separation. I thought that was a pretty good ball. Was it perfect? No, not perfect. But we're not talking about the situation in which everybody's saying how poorly he threw the football. Throw out to Bussy on the left-hand side. Dude gets absolutely assaulted by the freaking defensive back. He's trying to do a quick little comeback, not able to. Gets held. Pass interference. Announcer's like, oh, what a bad throw. No, it wasn't. The defensive back doesn't absolutely assault the guy. He's coming back and catching that football. There's a screen pass on the throwback over there where they fake it, boom, and he starts rolling. Play was a bust. Guy was completely covered. He had nowhere to go. There's an offensive lineman down the field. Just gets rid of it. Look, those aren't Marcel Reed problems, man. Those are not Marcel Reed. This is a freshman. Yeah, he's a redshirt freshman. A freshman. And you look at him out there and all those throws under pressure, poised. Never, even after missing all those throws, doesn't get in his head. Continues to deliver the ball out there. Boom, boom, boom. And you want to hear the other side of this? About that RPO where he delivers to number 3 over the middle and on kind of the slant, right? Why is he wide open? Why? Marcel's legs, why he's wide open. They're so afraid of the run as he RPOs that sucker, delivers that ball. There's nobody around that dude. They were also, after throwing the ball deep a couple of times, they backed those corners off. Gave him some space. His legs created some of that space. Another one of the throws to number 3, where he had some room on the outside, was also because of Marcel's legs. The running game started to pick up. Boom. He's able to hit some guys. Guys get separation. A touchdown throw to number 84. Coming out across, delivers it. 84 doesn't have to break stride. Perfect on the money into the end zone. Unbelievable. Then coming out of his own freaking end zone on the 1-yard line, sprint out to the right, delivers a strike to Barber, right? Just an absolute great ball. No chance it's going to get intercepted. There's no chance there's going to be a turnover at your own side of the. He doesn't put your team in bad positions because of what he does. Unbelievable. We talked about the deep ball to 3 that should have been a pass interference. Overthrown guys. Okay. Pass interference. He's a freshman. Absolutely calm, absolutely under control, never overhyped, excited sometimes, yeah, when he makes a big play. But the dude, the moment is not too big for him. The dude keeps his composure. There was one, I think, he did overthrow on the left side. Had you go look at him. He was leaning out of falling away from the throw. Yeah, misses for sure. Wasn't perfect, but under pressure, man. Under pressure, the dude just delivers. I have to call him Corey Castle, the delivery man. The delivery man, man, just delivers. Look, there's no question in my mind. Marcel Reed has got to be your starter going forward. Elko knows this. Don't screw this up. Him and Colin Klein understand what this guy brings, especially with his legs. He's the guy that gives you a chance for big plays. He's the guy that gives you a chance for, when the offensive line breaks down and when things break down to make things happen. This is the Marcel Reed show. This is Marcel's team. He has now led you to wins against Florida, Bowling Green, Arkansas. It's time to hand over the reins. Let's talk Mizzou. Play Mizzou on Saturday at Kyle Field. Get back home on this one. 11 a.m. kickoff. Mizzou's 4-0 coming into this game. Haven't really played anybody. Haven't been tested. Vandy did test them. Not by Vandy. Don't get me wrong. Vandy's better than they have been in the past. They're better than last year. They're not this absolute pushover of a team, but they went to overtime with Vandy. All right. 27-20, I think was the final. This team can run the football like crazy. And maybe that's where the A&M team has an advantage, right? They've been so good against the run, especially the last couple of games. And so can this defense really stop the run here? And, if they can, this Missouri offense, can they turn around what they've been doing and win using the passing game, right? I don't think Cook has been great this year, but they're coming off a bye week. And I think you can get things rolling oftentimes off those bye weeks. And so you're going to have to be careful. First of all, you got to stop the run, because that is what everybody talks about spread and everything else. This is a physical running football team. Noel Nate averages 6.4 per carry. He is their leading rusher. They're going to hand him the ball. He's going to get carries. Excellent running game. They do good things with the motions and different things. They haven't started using Luther Burden in the running game that much yet. I expect him to get some things maybe out of a wide receiver, sweep. They may throw some stuff with him coming across the formation and different things. I expect him to get involved. Speaking of which, the dude is a beast, right? Absolute beast at wide receiver. He's got 4 touchdowns already this season. He's the guy. He's the guy you have to focus on. You have to double team that dude. You cannot let him be the guy that beats you. And they're going to do a lot of trickeration with him. They may do some double moves. They might do a little, the little quick screens. They may get him the ball out there quick and let him go. Just all kinds of different stuff. You better be careful, because he can get to you, and he can get to you over the top too. Theo Weiss is the other guy on the other side, another good receiver, actually leads them in receptions. So they like to get him the football. He's the other guy. Whenever you over focus on one side, he's the guy that's going to hurt you on the other. Expect those guys to need to get some plays in the passing game, which they did against Vanderbilt, by the way. He had 2 touchdowns. Luther Burden, 2 touchdowns against Vanderbilt. You're going to have to do some things to slow those 2 guys down. They don't throw the ball to the backs a bunch, but given what we've seen with our defense, I wouldn't be surprised to see some of that on Saturday. As always, our front 5, our front 7, the defensive line is going to have to get pressure on Cook. That's going to be the matchup. Can that defense get pressure on Cook? Offensively, can we do some things to create plays over the top? Can we create plays over the top? Because they're going to get up in there. They're going to get their corners in there. They're going to try to stop the run. They're going to get in the box. They're going to do all those things. Safety's down in the box and test Marcel. They're going to test Marcel. And we're going to have to hit some plays over the top. How about a tailback screen from time to time? That, try to slow some of that pressure down and some of those things. We haven't done that. How about double move out there? We haven't really done that. I expect to see a lot of man coverage on the outside, and we're going to have to win some of those matchups. It's going to have to be Marcel. RPO game is probably not a bad idea either. This should be a good game. This should be a good game. Great challenges. Our run defense against their run game, which is exceptional. How does our back end hold up against two really, really, really good wide receivers? Offensively, can we get them out of the box? Can we get them out of the box? A&M favored by 2.5. I know Missouri, top 10 ranking. A&M favored by 2.5 at home. Over under at 48.5. Man, you want to take it? Go for it. Go for it. I'm not ready to jump on that bandwagon on that yet. I'm not ready to give them that yet. 2.5. Can they win this game? Yeah, absolutely. You know how I feel. We can win every game. I have to see what this defense does against two top-notch wide receivers. It's two really, really good wide receivers and a quarterback that can get them the ball. But I do expect our defense to play one of their better games on Saturday. I do. I expect them to be able to get some pressure on Brady and make some plays there. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I really do. And I think ultimately a couple of plays by Marcel Reed here and there is going to be the difference, one way or the other. But neither team turns the ball over. I think that that's one of those things that's going to prevent some scores because remember, Aggies scored right off of a turnover basically the other day, right? The lack of turnovers is going to keep this score down. That's my prediction. Under. What's some other games around the country? Iowa State, Ohio State. Ohio State's favored by 20.5. They haven't been tested. Iowa, cover. How's Georgia going to respond after the game against Alabama against Auburn? Look, Auburn's not good. Georgia should dominate that game. That's a great week after game for them. Everyone wants to talk about that Georgia, Alabama. Let's talk about that a little bit. Georgia, Alabama. Everyone wants to talk about how great a game it was. Oh, greatest game of the year. No, it wasn't. Alabama was the better team. They came out, absolutely whooped it. They took their foot off the gas. Georgia came back. Alabama recovered just enough to get the win, right? To me, I thought it was clear that Alabama was the better team. Jalen Milroe is by far the better quarterback. Carson Beck I don't know why he's still being considered a Heisman. I said it from the beginning. I didn't think he was. Jalen Milroe's a man. Not only was he running the football, he was throwing dimes. They better hope he stays healthy. Alabama looks strong. Kevin DeBoer doing an excellent job. But Ole Miss, South Carolina, that's a big one for Ole Miss because they just got their butts kicked by Kentucky. Physical ball game. Now they're going to play South Carolina, who likes to come out, and that defensive line's been excellent for them. I'm not sure that Ole Miss is going to come out and win this game. They go to South Carolina. South Carolina quarterback's got to be healthy. Ole Miss, by the way, playoffs and national championship run, done. They're going to lose to Georgia because Kirby Smart dominates Lane Kiffin. Ole Miss, they're pretender. And Tennessee at Arkansas. Tennessee's minus 13. I think Arkansas is going to give them some some fits. This defense for Tennessee, this is going to be the first time they're tested all year long. The run game is going to get to them a little bit. Their defensive line is not just going to be able to tee off on folks. I expect Arkansas to make this game. Tennessee probably still wins. It's a 13-point spread. I may take Arkansas. Lots of good football out there. Lots of good football. This past weekend was excellent. This weekend should be another good one. All SEC because nobody else is giving you good games. The Big Ten sucks other than maybe 2 teams. And nobody else around the country is any good. Maybe Miami. Nah. Clemson. They got their ass beat by Georgia. So football, good football is in the SEC right now. That's where matchups are. Folks, as you can see, I'm excited for this game. Big time environment. Saturday, noon, 11 o'clock kickoff. I don't understand that. But let's go, Aggies. Let's go. Time to roll, baby. Time to show up. Gig 'em from the tailgate. See you next time, buddies.